Hi, I'm Jim Hendler. I'm the director of Rensselaer's Institute for Data Exploration and Applications, which is our campus's data science center. And we do a lot of work with both graduate students and undergraduates looking at how data analytics and artificial intelligence technologies can really be used to change society, both in science and engineering, policy. So, really, it's a very interdisciplinary thing across the whole campus. This has been a very good year for the Institute. Uh, with the COVID situation, obviously, many things have been happening looking at life online, which is kind of where we in the information technology world live, and we do a lot of work with relation to the web and web research. So, with everyone living on Zoom and WebEx and things like that, and uh, some of these other things, we've really had a good year in terms of looking at sort of what are some of the things we can do both on campus and more generally, both specifically for that problem, but also much more widely. We also have had a couple of really exciting things happen. A couple years ago, IBM and Rensselaer created something called the Rensselaer IBM AI Research Collaboration, a very large partnership which funds a lot of research on campus. And we have this year really taken that to a new level. It's let us hire some new faculty. It's also let us really explore some exciting AI areas and to create a new program, which is called the AI Horizon Scholars, where we are actually providing fellowships to now almost 20 graduate students across our campus who get multi-year fellowships to work on projects in the artificial intelligence area where they work both with a advisor from RPI in the traditional graduate student advisor relationship, but they also get a mentor from IBM who sort of becomes almost like a co-advisor. And during their 3 to 4 years, they actually spend two of their terms embedded with the IBM work, either physically on campus when we can, on their campuses when we can do that again, or at the moment virtually. But so our students are really working closely with their researchers, looking at really cutting edge research and doing some very exciting things. I invite those who are interested to look at airc.rpi.edu, which has the information on what we're doing. The other really exciting thing has been the start of what's called the Rensselaer Astrobiology Research and Education Center, RARE, which is led by Karen Rogers of our Earth and Environmental Sciences department. RARE is a big NASA-funded project where we are the center of one of their groups that reaches out to many other universities and other partners. And we're really leading astrobiology there. So looking at how life on Earth came into existence. Karen's been out on ships, pulling things from down in those ocean vents and exploring how we can better understand what's going on in extreme environments that look more like what may have been happening in the early days of Earth. That also has a lot of overlap with things we're doing in geology. And those two really have been exciting programs that have really grown over the past year. And of course, we continue all the other work we're doing on campus with great work in data analytics and data science. So IDEA has actually been doing a lot of interesting things this year looking at COVID, some of which is on the research level where we have actually been jointly with CBIS doing the Center for Biotechnology and Interdisciplinary Studies. But we've also been looking a lot at informatics and COVID. AI has played a role in a lot of big projects. We've done some work with our Center for Computational Innovation. Our supercomputer, the Amos supercomputer, has been used for some exciting AI work and some other COVID simulation. But the stuff I think I'm most proud of is work we've done with our undergraduates. So we run something, an idea called the Insight Lab, which brings undergraduates in to do real data projects. And one of the things we did this year was, of course, looking at things related to COVID. We actually have a separate video, which will be linked to this, which will talk about some of that work. But just to give you an idea, Dr. Kristen Bennett, my associate director, has actually been running these projects for a few years. And this year, with the COVID focus, we really did two different major things. One, which was actually very important to the campus, was a set of analytics looking at predicting what kind of COVID prevalence we might see when people came back to campus. So we were able to predict some curves based on where students were coming from. We were able to help set some goals with respect to just how much testing we had to do, how often. And the students have now worked with one of our faculty members, Malik Magdan Ismail of computer science, to actually generalize that. So we have on our website a project called COVID Back to School, where schools can actually use the techniques we developed to say what would they expect, what would they see, and if they want to change certain policies. So if we enforce masking, if we recommend masking, if we test this often versus less often, what would we expect to see happening in our population? So it actually pulls information from the different states and localities to see what the predictions are. Then we've also been doing some work on campus using the wireless access point. So one issue you always have when doing anything with campus data is privacy and respecting our students. But with the wireless access points, all we get is the number of people who are in a particular area at a particular time. So we're able to actually track people, sort of how people are generally moving around campus, where there may be clusters, things like that. And we've been able to interact with the campus, looking at some things in terms of how to route people around campus, as we brought people back in. But more importantly, the students have actually been building tools for other students, as you can see in the video. One, for example, actually predicts where people will be gathering. So if a student is looking for somewhere safe to go and study where there won't be too many other people, we can actually guide them to the right kind of places. So that's all work that's been done by Rensselaer's wonderful undergraduates. And that, coupled with the work we've been doing with our graduate students and faculty in real research in COVID, has really been an exciting thing we've been doing this year. So this year has really obviously been a pretty challenging year for everybody everywhere. But here at Rensselaer, obviously, we had a term where we had to let students go. Then we've had partial things. A lot of the work we do in IDEA is done on computers and is easily maps to remote work, as opposed to something that would have to be done in the lab. So a lot of our work has been able to carry on pretty well. However, one of the things that was really a challenge was we do work in visualization. We do work in how to best present information. I know some of the alumni have seen the Campfire, a device that was invented here, which is a really unique visualization device. And obviously, it's located in a lab and it's made for group collaboration. So we've had to put that on hold for a year. But we've still been able to develop some software for it, some virtual versions of it. We've been playing with some virtual reality and things. So we've been able to pretty much overcome our real challenges, largely because we are primarily a computational group. And even where we did need that stuff, we've done it. I think what I'm really most proud of is just how much we've been able to keep IDEA going, keep it growing. The IBM connection, moving online. So a lot of what we were doing in IBM was people visiting each other. We've managed to move a lot of that to this online platform, keep things going. We have over a dozen projects, and as I mentioned before, almost 20 of these student fellowships. This summer, we have a program where we will let our graduate students spend the summer working with IBM researchers. Again, they'll be working remotely. But we had 82 IBM researchers who have proposed projects that they would like our students to work with them on. So we don't know how many students will end up there, but we hope it'll be 30, 40 students who will want this. Again, these are graduate students primarily. So we've really been able to create some exciting new things on the IBM partnership and to keep our research going. So it's been a challenging year, but an exciting one. So I'd like to thank you all for listening to me. I think there are a lot of exciting things happening, and if you visit our website, you'll see it. But in the passport, we've put several different things that I think you may find interesting. One is a short video that talks about some work I didn't get a chance to talk about on some work we're doing to support the hockey team using data analytics and artificial intelligence. And we have a little 1 minute talk by Tom Morgan, who is himself an RPI alum, who's been working as a research scientist and leading that project for us. We have a video that talks about the students' work in COVID that I mentioned earlier. And then we have pointers to some of the Rensselaer Ed Talks or Red Talks from a couple past years that talk about the work in astrobiology and the work in artificial intelligence. So thank you for your time, and enjoy your virtual time on campus. And we look forward to seeing you in person when things open back up.